Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube channel, the X channel, and on Twitter as well, and Facebook as well, I believe. My name is Ryan McGinley. Today I'm delighted to be joined in person by Tony Haggerty. Tony, how are you doing? We're at Easter Road.
We are. In case you didn't know, two of us are in situ at Easter Road. Can't wait for tonight. Team's been announced, as you can see on the graphic there on the screen. He has dropped Kyogo for Idah, and Idah comes in at the expense of Palma, and Kuhn comes in at the expense of Abada as well. Welsh is in too for Navrovsky, and yeah, it's he has freshened it up, Ryan, which is what we've been calling it for, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that he would freshen up the team after Saturday's disappointment against Aberdeen. Obviously, they didn't lose the game, but they had enough chance. Aberdeen had enough chances in the game to win that game. So did Celtic. Celtic had the chance in the first half to really put the game out of sight from the hosts, but you know, it was a draw, one each, and not a great result. Obviously, the Rangers' result against Aberdeen yesterday. The pressure is on now, Celtic, to better that result, get even more goals than their opposition did last night. So just looking at the team in full, so it's Joe Hart in goals, a back four of Alistair Johnson, Stephen Welsh, Liam Scales and Alexandro Bernabe. Midfield is McGregor, Callum McGregor captain, Matt O'Reilly and Paulo Bernardo, and the front three is Nicholas Kuhn, Dyson Maeda returns, and Adam Idah. The subs are Bain, Palma, Kyogo, Abada, Holm, Navrovsky, Vata, Kelly and Ralston. What do you make of that team, Tony?
I had a feeling he would play Idah, didn't we? He spoke very highly of Idah, didn't he? And kind of nodded to that, didn't he, at his bench conference yesterday. I'm very happy that Maedah's back. I did say I felt that Abada and Palmer deserved to be rested. Kuhn making his first start. Looks offensive, doesn't it? You know, your middle six there, midfield forward is quite strong, and you're hoping that something can kickstart Celtic into life in these next 4 games. I joked on the way up the stairs that Celtic are like Slim Shady, so we just want the real Slim Shady to please stand up tonight, don't we? And hopefully Celtic stand up tonight and give the supporters a show and they get a result.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be on Eminem's discography anytime soon, Tony, but I appreciate the sentiment and I like the reference. Just looking at that team in general, Bernabe's been given a second chance. He was hooked very, very early on. I think it was right after Aberdeen scored. You can probably hear in the background, yes, we are at Easter Road, so you will hear quite a few of the stadium atmosphere, the stadium noise, so we can't do anything about that. We do apologise, but Bernabe back in the team. He's getting a second chance at this. We both were kind of predicting it would maybe be a Tony Ralston or Liam Scales at left back, but Bernabe's been preferred. What are you looking for tonight from Bernabe in particular?
That's the eyebrow raiser, isn't it, Bernabe? That's the shock that he's been given the nod again. What I want from Bernabe is to just get his passing nailed down, and if he's going to venture forward, then his passing has to be crisp. He has to get back into position as well.
Absolutely.
That mistake on Saturday was criminal.
Domino effect, wasn't it?
And it just catalogue of errors after that, but it all stems from Bernabe not being able to play a simple pass to the forward, and all so you just can't have those lapses in concentration, because as we spoke about this minute in time, Celtic seem to be getting punished.
Every mistake, absolutely.
And so things like games can change on those mistakes. The game changed on that on Saturday. Celtic did dominate the first half at Dodgy, created a lot of decent scoring chances, but came out the second half, and the minute we obviously scored, it was an entirely different game. So, did Bernabe deserve the nod for tonight? No, but the manager's clearly put him in again, and I hope he's took him aside and he said to him, last chance saloon, I need you to do me a service here. See if you don't, that's it. And I think the Celtic supporters are in the same kind of mode, aren't they? I've seen the fast losing patience with Bernabe. They've probably lost it with him, but he's in the team and he's going with him tonight. So here's hoping he can get through a 90 minutes without making any, or without being error strewn, Ryan. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, just looking at the opposition, and that's what I was doing as I was looking downwards while you were speaking there, Tony. Just having a wee look at the Hibernians team, straight back in Boyle, the front line, Joanne, Boyle, and Vente. That seems like a very strong front line for definitely for Hibernian. They've got their big guns back. Boyle's probably one of their main goal threats alongside Eli Johan, who's had previous with Celtic. He's had some really, really good individual performances. Are those the sort of players that you're picking out from that team? You look at Levitt as well, who's got history playing against Celtic for a number of games. Are these the players that you're looking out for in terms of the opposition?
In terms of the opposition, yeah, the players that you've named, we all know their capabilities and we know their strengths. But see, tonight, I'm focusing on what Celtic are going to do. That's the team that's been named. That team has to stand up and fight, show they've got the stomach in the bottle to go these next 14 games. And what a chance for Idah to become an instant hero, right? By scoring or making a meaningful contribution. You've got the energy of Maida coming back. Kuhn as well looked very good on Saturday, so can string it together and give us a 90 minutes or 60 or whatever the manager decides to play him. And again, be a meaningful contributor. You've been given a nod to start for a reason, so go out there and perform. You've a duty to perform, and Celtic need a big performance from the guys that the manager has put his faith in.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I'm delighted that Adam Idah and Nicholas Kuhn have both been handed those starts, have been rewarded for their positive cameos off the bench. What did they have? 25, half an hour, 35 minutes off the bench on Saturday? They showed that they've got it. They've got what's required to, especially away from home, to show that they can. They were both involved in the goal. Adam Idah gets the assist for Nicholas Kuhn. Yes, it was a deflected shot. Doesn't matter how it goes in. The fact is, he got that goal. It's great to see Rodgers as rewarding with these players.
It's a huge call for the manager because this is a pressure game.
Yeah,
and he's dropped Kyogo.
It's a massive. Yeah, I think we should talk about that. Yeah,
and he's dropped Abada, who have been tried and tested. But he said, "Do you know what? No, I'm going to freshen up. I'm going to do something different." I'm thankful that Brendan Rodgers did that. That's what we asked for. I would have preferred Kyogo and Idah to play up front together in a two, but that's just me, my own personal preference. So yeah, I mean, the manager lives and dies by these decisions, Ryan. And I said today on the pod, I think I said today, we will now find out how elite level the manager is. This is what the manager proves.
This is where he makes his big bucks.
This is why he'll prove over the next 14 games why he gets paid the money, or he won't be here.
Yeah,
basically, right? So I mean, it's as simple and straightforward as that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you to the just under 250 people that are joining us. Please put in your score predictions. Maybe first goal scorer, if there is a goal scorer, of course you can predict that it's going to be nothing each. But put a couple of goal scorers on. Give us something to talk about. We don't want to see 0-0s. We want to see goals, preferably from one side, maybe not the other. But just looking at the squad once again, just coming off the back of the one each against Aberdeen. Daisen Maeda suffered disappointment when he was playing for Japan. That's him back for 3, 4, 5 days now. Do you think there's any sort of chance of him having ring rust or a lack of match sharpness? I know he's been playing in the Asia Cup. He's been in and out of that Japan team. He's not really been a starter for Japan under Moriyasu. Do you think he'll be ready for this game? Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, the manager said he was in a better place now than he was before he left. I'd go with that, Ryan.
That sounds good to me.
And if he's, of course he's fit. He's a natural athlete, isn't he? I tell you what, get a shift out Maida, you're going to get more than what Palmer and Abada provided in the past couple of starts. That's a fact. Palmer and Abada have been passengers. I don't like saying that about Celtic players and being, negative about them, but you can't escape that fact. And they've been non-contributors in the past couple of games. So I'm glad the manager shook it up. Maida deserves to go straight back in. And as I say, I go with his thoughts on it. He said he was in a better place now than he was when he left. Taking that at face value, we'll soon find out.
We've asked the viewers for their predictions and they've came through in numbers, Tony. We'll just go through some of them just now. Ryan Taylor, same namesake as myself, obviously picking a Ryan first of all. No favouritism there at all, Ryan. Idah 3-1, take that on the night. 3-1 would be a great result at Easter Road. If you can get a clean sheet, then even better. But any win will do. You can get a couple of goals as well. 4-1 says John Clark. Idah as well. A lot of people are going for Idah. as a first goal scorer. He would get his first goal. If that was the case, maybe Kuhn will get an assist on the night, and it can be the roles reversed from Saturday. James McIntyre says 3-1 the Hoops. We take that. Sean Stout says 3-1. Seems to be a very popular scoreline. 3-1. Stephen Mitzi 2-1. Another nail biter. O'Reilly and Idah. The way Brendan Rodgers spoke about Idah must be showing up well in training. That seems to be the case. John Madden says 2-0 to Celtic. Idah to score first. Lindsay Ellis says 4-0 to the Hoops. 2-0 says Christine. 2-0 O'Reilly. Plunge is coming in saying nothing each. We did say not to say nothing each, and somebody's plunge. 3-0, 3-2 to us. That'd be a very close game. You just wonder what way the scoring would be. Would that be a last minute winner? Would it be Celtic dominating and then it'd be a nervy finish, or would they come from behind and win? I'm not sure. But just, is there any more talking points you got with regard to the team? Obviously, looking at the back line, you get Scales and Welsh. Somebody in the comments earlier on was saying, a couple of years ago that would be probably a nightmare scenario. But both players have improved over the past 2-3 years, maybe in the last 6 months. With Scales and Welsh has came on a game as well. He's bided his time. He didn't get a look in really under Ange Postecoglou rather. He's bided his time. And now he's got a new deal. He's just back from injury and he's getting his start.
What I will say about Welsh is when he's came in this season, he's not let anybody down, has he? He's really unfortunate with injuries, but when he's came in, he's looked the part, whoever he slotted in beside. And the manager clearly was annoyed at Narowski for his part, the concession equaliser on Saturday against Aberdeen, and he's relegated him to the bench. So I can only say that tough on Narowski, but you've got to learn fast. And I thought Rossi was unbelievably poor when Rejowski scored on Saturday. So
he was.
There's so many things he could have did better, and he's paid a high price for that. Paid a high price for almost getting sent off, walking the tightrope, and also his part in the concession of the equaliser, which cost Celtic 2 vital points. And the manager is basically managed to be a bit ruthless there, I think. He's sort of saying, I think I've got 2 better guys for tonight's challenge, and I'm playing them before you.
Yeah, he's probably putting him on the bench because, he's probably lucky to be on the bench given that tackle that he had in the second half. I'm not sure exactly who it was on. Was it against Graham Shinnie, the tackle? But it was definitely against an Aberdeen player. We know that for certain. It was one of the 11 Aberdeen players that were on the pitch, but very, very lucky to stay on the park. I thought that was more of a yellow card than the yellow card that he got on the body check. It might be in the body check. The body check on Shinnie. It seems to be one of the two were on Shinnie. I know that or either that or the fact that Graham Shinnie got booked a couple of minutes before, and the referee still seemed to be in that state of mind and gave him a yellow. It was very, very lucky to stay on the park. He got taken off as a sub, didn't he, later on in the game, and he's been put down. He's been demoted. He's been axed to the bench alongside first team players such as Kyogo and Abada. So Brendan Rodgers is ringing the changes tonight. You're hoping that can have the desired effect. And the players that have came into the team that have been on the bench or been away in the Asia Cup, in Maedah's example, they can come in and really take that place.
I think we're past hoping, Ryan, that it has the desired effect. It has to have the desired effect. This team has to go out tonight and make some kind of statement by winning this football match.
Yep.
If they can win it comfortably, great, but they have to show something tonight. You are in a 14-game season. The title rests on it all, and it starts tonight. You're in a 14-game countdown now.
Yeah.
So it starts tonight, and it starts in a ground that's not been a happy hunting ground for Brendan Rodgers or his teams. Mm-hmm. And what a time to register your first win at Easter Road. This would be...
It's needed. It's absolutely needed.
They desperately need it. They don't just need it, they desperately need it.
Yeah, because the trajectory at the moment is not good, not looking good. So given the result that Rangers got last night, it doesn't matter how close the game was or the fact that Aberdeen were back in it. Miovski scores another goal against one of the Glasgow Derby too. Probably his trajectory could be even higher than Celtic now this summer, but Rangers are doing their bit. Now it's neck and neck. After this, Celtic will be, if Celtic were to get the win tonight, they'd be 3 points clear. Rangers would have that game in hand. That comes next week against Ross County, who I believe Derek Adams has resigned in the past 10, 20 minutes or so. So you'd expect them to get that one. It's all about keeping the pressure on. That's what I'm trying to say. Try to keep that pressure on and keep on winning games. 14 cup finals from now until the end of the season.
Every time you have a chance to apply pressure, you've got to swing the pendulum of pressure back to Rangers and make them ask the question. So Celtic have got to take care of their own business first and foremost at all times, and then throw that pendulum back and say, right, back to you to win your game in hand. Celtic need to win tonight and make Rangers go and win their match against either a manager like Ross County or somebody coming in, maybe give them a new manager bounce, whatever way you want to have a look at that. But that's for the future. The immediate concern is tonight, this team can either get off the mark and open his account, can Kuhn, make meaningful contribution, can Idah come back, hit the ground running again, can O'Reilly pick up the cudgels because he's been off it, can Bernardo do the same, Cal Mack as well, you could label that as him, a dip in performance as well. So many subplots here, Ryan. You want Welsh and Scales to dovetail together and be sound, and your big worry's Burnaby. It really is. And even Alistair Johnson, I said today that I would have dropped Alistair Johnson because his form's falling off a cliff as well.
It's not been right all season, has it?
Yeah, there's been something not right with him all season. So, Rodgers has taken a few risks tonight, but I'm glad he has. It needed it, Ryan. It needed something different. And, Kyogo, I just think that with Kyogo out the team, regardless of how, he's drawn a blank recently, but he's still liable to give you that spark of invention. As I say, I would have went 2 up top, but that's just me personally. But he's not the worst person to bring off the bench, is he?
Bring him on if required in the game. Give him that break. I think he needs the mental break as much as the physical break. Because he's been running on empty for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he's been given nothing. He's been running on empty and receiving empty as well. You could probably say he's been a very, very quiet individual for the past 3-4 games. I think his last goal was against Bucky Thistle, but the last league goal he got was against Rangers, that stunning goal in the Glasgow Derby. What are you looking for? What are you looking from Idah tonight? This is his first start for the club. He's this time last week. I think he joined this time last week.
What I liked about him, Ryan, I think he looks like a traditional centre forward, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a focal point, isn't he? As Brendan Rodgers said.
And not just a target man, right? I looked, he had a lovely header, knocked down. One of the first things he did was header, glance the ball to somebody's path, and I thought, okay. And then Hamish spoke about that pass today to O'Reilly, who went on to hit the post, and I'm liking you, big man. I'm really liking you, and I think this guy just wants to bust the net for Celtic and really feel that he's part of the family and become the Celtic player that Rodgers seems to rave about. Mm-hmm. And so Rodgers is watching him in training and waxing lyrical. I want to see that tonight. See if I'm bringing, as you say, to Adam Idah, let it flow. Don't panic.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just play your game.
Just do what you can do. Let it come naturally. And I think he will. I think this is a challenge that Adam Idah needs, because Brendan spoke so highly of him. We said young guys lose their way, it becomes stale at a club. This guy Adam Idah has said he was desperate to play for Celtic. He wants to play, and I think he wants to bust the net for Celtic tonight and get the acclaim of the supporters. And what a way to do it! What a way to announce yourself, and I think that's what Celtic need. And I think in a converse way, I think that'll help Kyogo. Mm-hmm. Because it will bring his levels on and say, right, this guy's here to take the jersey, so to speak, but he take the burden off him in terms of scoring, and it can help. Gordon Strachan, I've always said, banged on about being a good teammate. I think being good teammates in these situations help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can bounce off each other, take advice, and and help each other. And that's what I want to see tonight. I want to see Adam Idah firmly ensconced into the Celtic family first team form, and I hope he scores.
Listen, if he gets a goal and an assist in his first 2 games at least, then that would be absolutely a tremendous start from a player who this time last week hadn't even been announced by the club. It'd be a great first week for Adam Idah. You can probably hear in the background the Celtic players have begun to warm up. There's been cheers and boos, a bit of a 50-50 split in that reception. Just looking at the team again, we're trying to go through the full team here before we finish off. I think the one player to talk about is a player that did make a massive impact coming off the bench as well, in Nicholas Kuhn. Now he's been awarded that start. This is also his first start for Celtic tonight. After scoring that goal, it was so nicely set up by Adam Idah. Yes, it was a deflection, but any goal's a goal. You know, what you're looking for? What are you looking from Kuhn tonight? Are you looking for good wing play? You're looking for goal scoring ability, or maybe both at the same time?
I'm looking for him to exploit the vast expanse of white pitch that he's going to be asked to.
It's a great
patrol,
pitch, yeah.
You know, and it's looking down from here from where we are. The surface is decent, Ryan, isn't it? So no
better than Celtic Park at the moment, yeah, I would definitely say.
No excuses for not being able to turn it on. Liked his cameo on Saturday. Got the ball out his feet really quickly. Deflect the shot, but they all count. So, and he looked hungry.
Yep.
He wanted to be on the ball, you know. And somebody said that he looked like Paddy Roberts in terms of facially.
I think he goes to the same barber.
Yeah, but he reminded me of Paddy Roberts the way he was drifting inside and trying to make things happen. And before people in the comments go mental, I'm not comparing the two of them. I'm just sort of saying he reminded me of a Paddy Roberts type, the way, his body shape, the way he kind of tried to influence the play. Time will tell on that if he has the same kind of impact. But what a chance again, like Idah. If I'm Brendan Rodgers, I say to them, relax, guys, you know, because the pressure's on the game. You don't need to add any extra layer of pressure. But these are the games that footballers want to play in.
Yeah.
You want to be involved in. You ask Kuhn and Idah, you know, are you ready for this? Yeah, of course they are, right?
They have to be.
Yeah,
I would say they have to be, yeah.
Right, and he's played Palma and he's played Abada, and he's thought to himself, nah, something not right here. It needs shaking up, it needs mixed up. So turn to these two guys and say, right, you've been brought in for a reason. You're at a big club, big pressure situations. Can you handle it? Are you brave enough to handle tonight? And I know it's only Hibs are playing, but this is a situation of Celtic's doing. They have thrown away points and they've come to a place where the manager hasn't won. And the record, Hamish said it this morning, was it 12 games, they'd won 3, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. It's not a good record by all accounts.
And lost 2, that's 12 games, yeah. So it's not a good record. So this is one of the hardest away trips for Celtic.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's the bogey ground now because they seem to have Livingston sorted, or they did under Ange Postecoglou, and Brendan Rodgers won there, albeit with 10 men as well. But it seems to be that this stadium seems to be the problem area for Brendan Rodgers, and it's something that needs to be rectified tonight. The time is now to rectify it.
In that context, it's a massive match. And it's a massive match.
And it feels like a massive match. And it feels like a massive match as well, given the result last night. Now, I know that both teams have played an even amount of games now. With Celtic playing this, they'll have played one more game than Rangers, but it's all about putting that pressure on. The only way you can put pressure on is by beating other teams and making sure that you go ahead. But you know, it's up to Brendan Rodgers and his side to apply that pressure. You can't give Rangers and Philippe Clement and all their players any more motivation than what they already have, because they're in a good place at the moment. Celtic aren't in a good place. It's up to Celtic to get back into that good place. The only way they can do that is by winning football matches.
And I'm not being melodramatic when I say that the next 2 games are season defining, because they are. Because if you go behind in the title race, it's a long uphill climb. And if Perry thought you would go to Love Street, I was going to say there, St Park, or Paisley.
Smiths Stadium.
Yes, the Smiths Stadium, yes, indeed. And lose, then, you know, you would cough up another trophy. So, you know,
it's a massive week, massive 7 days.
Less than 2 wins for Celtic will do, right? But again, we deal with it here and now. It's all about tonight, and it's all about applying that pressure. Go and make Rangers beat Ross County in their game in hand to bring it back to level pegging again by getting the result tonight. You can only take care of your own business, but go out there and be emphatic about it. I want to see that tempo. I want to see that drive. I want to see that energy, Ryan.
I've just realised something in the title. I've said Maeda is dropped. That would be really unfortunate if Maeda was dropped. It's Abada. I apologise. I will get that changed for when we go offline here. Of course, it's Abada that's been dropped. Imagine Maeda just in the door and he's already dropped. I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know if I think he played the last game, so
That's very harsh.
that's very, very harsh. And I do apologise to Dyson. Hopefully he shuts me up and gets a couple of goals, maybe an assist tonight as well.
And Gary's asking where's the dog. They're safely at home, Gary. The dogs. So yeah.
Tony, if you can hear those dogs from here, then something is wrong. Either that or they're very, very loyal. Just before we go off, we've got 5 minutes left, probably 5 minutes left of the show, we would say. What is your prediction for this game? How do you see this game going at Easter Road tonight?
I'm going to go. I did have 3-1 in my head before I came here, so I'm going to stick with that, Ryan. 3-1, yeah. And I think Idah will open his account.
Just the one for Idah tonight, do you think? Or do you think maybe a couple? Well, I'm sorry, I'm throwing a bit of a proverbial spanner on the works there.
Okay, I'll have him scoring a double. I prefer a hat-trick, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to go for 3-0. I think Celtic will keep a clean sheet. They've been keeping clean sheets recently, apart from their concession of a goal against Aberdeen, but recently they haven't really been conceding a lot of goals, and that's one positive you can probably say, despite the fact that they dropped points in the last game. The amount of goals that they're conceding isn't that much. If they're conceding a goal, maybe it's 1 or 2 a game, not anything more. It shows that the floodgates aren't opening if they are conceding goals and they are keeping it tight. Yes, there are some individual moments, and you could cut through that goal against Aberdeen all day long for the amount of mistakes that are made from start to finish, from Bernabei going forward to Nawrocki going 2 back. It works both ways, but they aren't conceding that many goals, and you're hoping that they can keep it tight. You don't want the same thing happening that what happened last season towards the end of Ange Postecoglou's era. I remember watching that game on the TV. The floodgates opened, and not in a good way for Celtic. I don't know how much of that was down to the fact that maybe they knew the manager was going, or their attentions were towards the Scottish Cup final, maybe a mixture of both. They can't allow it to be a basketball game. I know there was only 2 goals scored on Saturday. They can't allow it to become a basketball game.
No, I don't think basketball games suit Celtic, to be honest. I'm looking for a Celtic team to dictate the tempo of this game from the off and really go out, and I've said, make a statement. I'm saying 3-1. I'm hoping that it's possibly more, but I just think Celtic need that kind of performance to come to the surface again, because they're capable of it. They know they're capable of it. That team's stacked with good players. They really just need to believe in themselves a bit more and not get carried away with, and you can't dispute there's a vortex of negativity swirling around the club, certainly off the field. But the only way to banish that is getting it right on the field, and this is a chance for these guys tonight to do that at a venue. They've struggled at recently, we can't escape that either, but as I say, these things don't matter. And how long have we got? Half an hour or so?
Yeah, just coming up in 28 minutes. Yeah. I like going for exact.
Yeah. And Celtic just need to come out of the traps quickly, Ryan. Positive start. Get the fans behind the goal. Buzzing about their team again for all the right reasons.
I want to bring up this comment just before we finish, and I think it'll talk about the midfield, because we haven't really talked about the midfield. We've talked about the defence, we've talked about the attack, and up front, of course. But my ball comes in and says a basketball game scenario shows a lack of control from our players. I would direct that directly to the midfield, that engine room. You've got to have control, otherwise the basketball game happens. That's what happened last time out against Aberdeen. You're looking for players like McGregor, Bernardo, O'Reilly, those 3, and the attackers as well, but more so those players in the engine room to control the tempo of the game. If they can do that, then I think that'll be half the battle tonight.
I think they were conspicuous by their absence in the second half of Saturday, weren't they? Which is why it became a basketball game. And as I say, and that scenario did not suit Celtic in the slightest. When they got the equaliser, I still said I wasn't confident they were going to go on and win it. Under the previous regime and other regimes, Celtic would have come back and won that game 3 or 4-1. It's just what they do. But that team on Saturday could have lost that game as well as won it.
It's a basketball game, yeah.
On it. So, it could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody that has joined us for this pre-match show. We will be live post-match after the game. We'll also try and get some videos from the press conferences after the game as well. So please stay tuned on the YouTube channel. We'd like to thank MPH Group, who are the sponsors for tonight's video and all the videos that we do. If you're looking for plumbing, heating, kitchens or bathroom work, then look no further than the MPH Group and Navian Boilers. All of their links are in the description. They'll be in the description below at the end of this video. Thank you, Tony, for joining me. Fingers crossed that Celtic can get the 3 points, get back to winning ways, and apply some pressure at the top of the table, and get back to and start a gap once again.
Yeah. Result dependent, it always is. Always say it. Enjoy tonight if you can, guys. We'll see you post match.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and we will see you post match. Cheers.